I'm heading to the Stave mill again. Today is when we're supposed to really get the big winter storm here in Kentucky, at least, as far as I know. I think we're supposed to get up to 8 inches of snow and then ice too on top of it. And I think it's supposed to, from what it was showing on my phone, it's supposed to snow like that throughout the day. And it's supposed to start at 11 a.m. if I'm not mistaken, last I checked. Hopefully it'll hold off even longer than that. I've got 2 loads to actually I've got 3 to deliver today. But I definitely intend to do the 2. I just hope that the weather doesn't get too bad before I can get the 3rd, because I'm on my way to the Stave mill now, and I can get 1 big load in here, which will make 2 truckloads, especially with some of the stuff I've got at home. So I'll do what I've been doing. I'll kind of quarter it down, or split these rounds into halves. It's so much better doing it like that. I never have liked lifting those big rounds like that. I've done it many times, getting them out of the woods and stuff like that. And I agree, it's much better if you can hook to them and pull them out with something if you can. But there's been many situations where I couldn't do that. I had to just buck them up and throw them out there. And I've done it many times. But at the same time, I don't prefer that, you know. The easier the better, you know. This is hard enough as it is, firewood, so the easier you can make it on yourself, the better. So anyways, I'm heading to the Stave mill right now. Not really a whole lot of traffic on the road this morning. I'd say lots of people. I know some people. One of the women that I delivered to yesterday, a nurse, she said she had called in because she didn't want to get out in this stuff. There's just past the plow truck, so they're preparing for it. It's supposed to get bad. Hopefully lots of people have backup heat and water and food and stuff you can eat, you know, without electric, if the electric goes off, because very likely if we get a lot of ice that a lot of people will be without electric. So it can be you know, it can end up taking somebody's life, especially elderly people and stuff like that. So if you know anybody, you know, in your area that may need some help, or something, elderly or anybody, and you're able to help them, it would be good to do that. It would be good to do that. Just like the Bible says, more blessed to give than to receive. So if you're able to help anybody, you know, do it. And, you know, I got somebody I want to go check on today as well. And because there are people out there that may not have anybody, you know. You might be the one person that makes the difference in their life. So, and but anyways, I'm heading up there now. I just know it can be dangerous when this kind of weather comes in. If it's what they're saying it's going to be, it can be very dangerous for sure. So it's good to be prepared. That's why these firewood sales have picked up so much. I've been so busy lately. Yesterday I worked all day, me and Carter did. Today Carter didn't come with me because I know this storm's supposed to get here, so I'm not letting him come out with me in that. And if it gets real bad, you know, with the ice and stuff, I won't be able to do anything in that either. So but yeah, we've been having some long days lately with firewood. I love it though. Been making good money and staying busy, which I enjoy. And like the other day when I was at home in the recliner, 2 days in a row, I fell asleep just sitting there in the recliner. My wife woke me up laughing at me, and her and Carter was laughing at me. But yeah, this stuff definitely wears you out. You know, it makes you tired when you do it, for sure. You have no trouble sleeping, which I sleep easily anyways, but when you do this, you really do. I'm heading there now. Once I get there, I'm not sure what to expect as far as how many people will be there. It's different, you know, every time you go. But I'm heading there now. I would guess maybe quite a few, because where the storm's coming in, people are trying to get prepared, and I don't blame them at all. But I'm going to go and get a big load, get that home, split it, and then go take it. There's 2 different cities I've got to deliver to. So, and if I am able, I'm going to come back for another big load. Something I've noticed, I mentioned it earlier, I'm on the road to the Stave mill now, but something I've noticed for sure is there's just not a lot of traffic out today. And maybe it's because of the storm, you know, maybe it's because I'm sure lots of people are at work right now. Well, it is Sunday actually, so it's Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there's just not a lot of traffic out. I'm guessing it's probably the storm is why. You know, there was lots out yesterday at Saturday, and people were off work and everything, and probably many people were trying to get prepared. But even, you know, coming here to Moorhead on the interstate and everything, getting here, traffic is a lot lower than usual. From what I can tell anyways, I've noticed there's just not a lot of traffic out. So people's probably just trying to be at home and not get caught out in this thing. Because they said whenever it gets here that, it was saying on my phone that being able to get out in it would be nearly impossible, something like that. Travel would be nearly impossible. So yeah, I don't want to get caught out in this either, so I'm trying to at least get one big load before it gets here and get that split and delivered. And I'd like to get 2. And you know, if it's snow, I don't mind to get out in that, but if it's ice, I'll get out here and get stuck somewhere, you know. That's why I've done before, actually. Got stuck for a while, and then I was able to get home on the interstate, and I drove for 20 miles an hour on the interstate. It was bad in my Dodge, and that was really bad. I think that was a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I'm on the road to the Stave mill now. I just wanted to mention, I thought that was interesting. There's really not a lot of people out today, and if I'm not mistaken, this storm is supposed to be in quite a few places, you know, this winter storm, you know. But here in Kentucky, I think we're supposed to get hit pretty hard with it too. So anyways, we'll see later on, and I'll show you that, Lord willing. I'm just pulling in here, so I'm not seeing anybody. I do see some wood. Looks like a pretty good pile of wood, so that's a good thing. Hopefully that's what I'm wanting, you know. I'm getting out here and getting this stuff before it gets in if I can. So I've got some people to deliver to, and yeah, I love staying busy like this. But I'll turn this around and show you. So this is what it looks like me pulling in, you know. There's rounds right in the way there. Normally I'll pull in there and turn around, but there's some rounds right in the way. I think I can still get in. And there's some of those big slabs that lots of people like. Those things, I don't really like those myself. I mean, I'll tell you what I would like to do with something like that. Another guy mentioned it. I think it was a miter saw or something. He said he gets that and just cuts those in half. And they're around 36 inches long, those slabs there. So if you cut them in half, there's rounds laying all over the place here, so I'm trying to avoid hitting them. Do some damage on my truck. But if you cut those slabs in half there, you've got some, you know, 18-inch pieces of wood. There's some of that huge stuff there. Just so yeah, as you can see, nobody's messing with it. It's just too big. Men can't handle that. Not without machinery. And I guess you could, you know, but with a chainsaw and stuff. But here you're not. Somebody asked me that in the comments. You're actually not allowed to run a chainsaw here. Somebody was asking me that. I'm sorry I don't get to the comments sometimes. Sometimes I won't reply to any of them because I said this before, I feel bad if I reply to some people but not to others. So sometimes I won't reply to any. Sorry, I did not realize I was holding that camera down like that. But sometimes I won't comment to any of them because I feel bad if I comment to some, because I know people's going to see that and think, well, he's replying to them, why not to me? So if I'm real busy or something, I'll put a heart on the comment. That means I've read it, you know, I've read your comment if I do that. And I try to reply to them too, because y'all are taking your time to be supportive and kind and stuff like that. And so I truly appreciate that, and I want to show that, you know. And I'd like to show it in more ways than just comment. I'd like to meet some of y'all maybe one day and help you in some way that I can, maybe if I'm able to in some way or another. But anyways, let's get out and take a look at this. This is awesome. I've got it to myself, so seems like a good time to come. And I think lots of people are just not wanting to get out because they know this storm's coming. But let's get out and go ahead and get this load loaded. All right, so we've got quite a bit of good wood here. You can see somebody's been beating on that. Oops, there goes my tripod. Poor guy. Anyways, there's a lot of good stuff here. Some of them are huge. I may do some down the middles while I'm here too. This is a good place for down the middle, especially with it empty like this. I'll quarter this stuff up and get it loaded. There's probably enough right here in this pile to fill my truck up, possibly. I try not to get the real short stuff. But anyways, I'll go ahead and get this stuff loaded up, and then I'll probably look for a good down the middle to do. Nobody's here, so, I mean, the wood pile goes way back that way. But as you can see, this stuff here, nobody's getting that really. They can't do nothing with it. It's dirty, it's big, it's hard to handle, hard to split, hard to get on a splitter. There's where they come in at, it's where I come in at. And then, you know, you've got room for usually 2 trucks at a time back here. And if there's 2 trucks and, like say there's dump trucks there or something that they got to load, or a trailer, then they want one of the trucks to get out of the way, which you can't blame them, because if they hit the truck, then they're probably going to try to hold them responsible or something. But which they've got a sign up saying that they're not responsible or something of that nature. So But anyways, right now I've got it to myself, so I'm gonna get in this while I can, because people sometimes pull in here continuously and they all try to get the same wood, you know, and you can't blame them. But I'm gonna try to get this while I can. Not a lot of people here. I expected there'd be more people than that.
What's that?
Not really many people here today.
Oh,
I guess
with Firewood?
Yeah, I guess with another storm coming in or something.
Yeah.
The storm?
Yeah. And I don't want to get out and get caught in that. It ain't nothing. It's just a little snow.
Yeah. I think we're supposed to get ice tonight, ain't we? Or no?
I think they're getting like 3/4 of an inch.
Oh, really? And up to 8 inches of snow, ain't it? Yeah. Hopefully, there'll probably be a lot of power outages if we get a lot of ice.
Oh, yeah. I say every little hollow road going up in the valleys, everybody's going to be back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it works for me because right now this is the good stuff right here, so that works for me.
Yeah, I'll probably have some more out here in about 20 minutes.
Okay, sounds good to me. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you want
It's just a good day. Nobody's here. He just brought another load, and he said in about 20 minutes he'd bring in another load. So it's a good day to be out here. He said, like, I don't know if you heard us talking, but he suspected, like me, that people worried of coming out and getting stuck in this. So I think I'm gonna come over here to what he just dumped. I think I'm gonna get a little bit of this. So I'm gonna pull my truck over here. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Something he's thankful for sure. Oh. Take this jacket off. It's cold today, but this warms you up quick. too close. It'll work. Yeah, he just dropped a pretty good load of wood here. See what your view looks like here. All right. Yeah, I may have to pull forward a little. Give myself a little bit of space. This is good. So I'll plan to be in and out here like in 30 minutes, 40 minutes. When you can come in here like this by yourself and get it like this quick, especially if they've got some good wood like this, which normally all that's open. You know, at the beginning you seen all that pile's normally open, but right now it's covered in this. Once they get rid of that stuff, you know, it'll be back to all kinds of good wood. But now people have been coming and trying to pick through, you know, this, but they bring it up periodically. Like he said, he'd bring another one in 20 minutes. But so I may done almost have a load by the time he does that. I mean, I've been here like 10 minutes and split or loaded for probably 5, and I've got almost a regular truck bed. So when you quarter them and stuff, you know, they're big pieces. So I don't know if you can even see over there. Can you see over there? Let me turn her that way a little. That's what I'm doing right now. Ooh, see, some of this oak is tough. Ooh, yeah. I may get the old adler. This one is better for down the middle, I believe, the adler. There we go. This is tough wood. I don't know where people's getting at this is easy wood to split. I mean, no offense to people, but I was talking, one guy said it was like one of the hardest, easiest hardwood to split. Maybe if it's straight grained, this can be really tough stuff. I split a lot of tough white oak. The guy was mentioning to me my method breaking you down too. Now, if he meant hand splitting, I disagree with that entirely. But if he meant loading the like those big rounds, because that video I think I had, but I don't know if I showed it that video. Loading the big rounds will break you down, yes. Even this is pretty tough on your body. That piece of oak right there, it's in half. And it ain't even the biggest round. That's probably 40, 50 pounds. So you take these rounds when they're whole, a lot of them are 100 plus pounds. So yeah, that will break you down. As far as hand splitting goes, I disagree with that. I don't agree that that's going to break you down. I don't know, you hear guys say stuff like that a lot, and they do have experience, but people's experiences are different too, you know. People's bodies are different, their form. I think bad form has a lot to do with breaking people down, using bad form a lot. But I'll tell you something else that I know that I've seen in people is when you ain't moving and stuff, that hurts you too. You can definitely hurt yourself moving. You don't want to overdo it. I'm trying to grow a little wiser as I get older. I'll be 33 in February. But, and I've been stubborn a lot and not listening to people. And I felt the consequences from that. But as far as hand splitting goes, I think it's very beneficial. Look at that thing. In many ways, look at that adler. Man, it is a good one. I do think the adler has the edge on the fiskars down the middle on big rounds. I do. It's just heavier. That's as far as splitting goes though. Straight down, the adler probably beats the fiskars a little. But for the, somebody mentioned this the other day, for the amount of energy expended, I like the way they said it because it was a very good way to put it. For the amount of energy expended with the fiskars for its weight compared to other axes, the fiskars to me is the best. But that is a fantastic axe. I plan to use it a lot. I haven't been using as much lately because for production, the fiskars to me is without doubt better. It was very nice of Adler to send me that. Very nice of them, and I love it. I highly recommend it. If you want a good axe or maul, I highly recommend this one. I still got to do a review on it. Now I plan to do a thorough review I'm kind of explaining things already, you know, but I plan to do like a thorough review of it. And I'm getting more experience with it too, so that way I don't just, you know, the first day I get it, say, okay, let's do a review on it and go out and take it. I'm getting some experience with this thing. Then I can really tell you what I found in it. With the Fisker's axe, I've got 6 years of experience and a lot of experience with it. So this one, I've not got a lot of experience, but I can tell you one thing: it is a fantastic splitter, and I figured it would be before they sent it. Man, I'm coming back for another one today, so weather lets me. I am. It hurts so much worse if you hit your finger or something like the code, doesn't it? So much more painful. All right, just keep getting them. That's good to go the way it is. Big one here. This adler, definitely better on down the middles on big rounds than the Fiskers. Like I did a test the other day, and yeah, all rounds are different for sure. I was trying to make it pretty even, but those rounds were different. This one is, I would say, is the better one for splitting down the middle. It's just heavier. See, that's a tough round. And of course, we know many people. I've had so many people try to point out to me, why are you splitting down the middle? Why don't you chop off the sides? Part of why I did that in the shorts is it generates views. I seen that early on when I started doing it, and it's a challenge. Like some of the people that I've had question that will go and chop down a tree with an axe, but then, which is not efficient. But then they'll sit there and criticize splitting a piece of wood down the middle. So that doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, there's a reason why I do it. It really displays what these axes can do. You've seen huge rounds I split with that Fisker. So, and I said this, I was talking to somebody the other day. I believe the axeman is every bit as important as the axe, and the axe as the axeman. If that makes sense. I believe both are one's just as important as the other. Because if you get into this tough wood and you give a guy that's skilled, who's a skilled axeman at splitting wood, you give him a bad axe, a chopping axe, he's going to have a bad day in this wood. I don't care how skilled he is. And if you give a guy that's not very skilled a good splitting axe, he may not have such a good day because he doesn't know where to hit and how to hit. I was explaining something to Carter the other day because he kept beating on this one, and he had it pretty much split, but he kept hitting the same spot far from him. And I seen where it was holding. It was holding close to him, and I told him, I said, Carter, hit close to you. That's where it's holding. And once he hit it, it opened up. And that's why I told him, I said, anytime where you see it's holding at, where it's still holding, like if you've got it split on the far side and it's holding on this side, hit this side. Don't waste your shots on that one if you've done got it split. So all that comes down to experience and learning knowledge of this wood, how to split it and stuff, because the edges are definitely better to hit on, in my opinion, for sure, I found. And but sometimes it's beneficial hitting the middle as well. If you get the edges and the middle's holding, then hit the middle. And that's why I told him, hit it, try to split where you see it's holding at still, what's holding you. Split that spot, because if you keep splitting spots already split, you may have a knot over here holding, and you're just wasting your shots on that. Because I mean, he hit it like 10 times, and then when he came over here, he hit it I think twice, and it split. So it's knowledge of it. I'm not trying to sound like a know-it-all or anything, but I do. One thing I have quite a bit of experience in is hand splitting firewood. I'm gonna go and close this. Let's see what this other's got. Let's put its name to the test. I already have, but let's do it some more. Oh yeah, it's a big one. Oh, that's too big. That's even too tall. That's too tall even. But I do need to get out of the way. I do need it out of the way. These work good for moving the wood too. I would like to get a pickaroon though. Gary was talking about me get a pickaroon, so I do plan to get one. Let's see. So there's what I've got right now. These big chunks fill it up quick. I want to get into this pile a little bit. Make it as easy to move these things as I can. The knot in that one. Some people will come and like fill their bed up with stuff like that too. A bunch of pieces like that. Look at that. Yeah, that adler's great. Yep. I ain't at all trying to just say the Fiskars are way better than the Adler. I'm not biased with this at all. Matter of fact, I've reached out to Adler and Fiskars. Fiskars never replied to me, Adler did. So, I mean, as far as their customer service, or at least their, I don't know about customer service, but at least their reply, Adler was the one that replied. And sent me that axe for free to do a review on. So. And like I told them, I'll put it through many tests, many thorough reviews. And Lord willing, that's just what I'll do. I think this one's about to split, ain't it? Oh. Now there's a big good one right there. See if you can see that. Right there, that dark one. That's a big tough round. Nothing the old Adler can't handle. Go ahead and get him out here. Yeah, that's a big tough round right there. So what I would do with one like that too is normally flip it over. Somebody mentioned this to me like 2 years ago, around the time I started my channel. I never paid attention to it, but they talked about how to try to split the wood on the fresher cut side. And on this white oak, that's I believe that's true, because I have actually found that it's easier to split when it's green. It's white oak. So I'll flip it. Ooh, the bad thing, see, I said that with, but now that I flipped it, that's the side I would normally have down. See those big knots? And that's the bottom of the tree as it's going down. I think I can still split it there. See what this adler can do. I mean, I've done bigger than this with it. That's just tough, I can tell. Oh yeah. Oh yes. That's a tough round. Tell me that's not tough. Look at this. Look at that. Look how twisted and knotty in the middle. But now this would be easier, even though it's seasoned, I think, to split on this side. So I'm gonna quarter this, it's so big. There we go, look at that. That adler, man, that's a good axe. It is. I like it a whole lot. Yeah, like the chopping block argument, a lot of it is you're losing force in the ground, you know. Like I'm splitting on a bunch of sawdust here. I don't know if you can see that. Look at this. So, you know this ain't solid. In my opinion, the best thing about chopping block, some people may be more comfortable up here, because it is kind of comfortable. That's one thing I found on the back when you're up here. It just ain't comfortable lifting the rounds onto it. But the main thing I think with the chopping block personally that's beneficial is keeping your axe edge from getting chipped. Which honestly, like I said, I've hit rocks and stuff so far with this thing. Whatever they use on this Adler, it doesn't dull easy. Which for a splitting axe, you don't gotta worry much about that anyways. But there's the crack right there, it looks like. So look, this is on sawdust. So, you know, like I said, that's pretty soft, you know. It's not solid. And watch this. See what I mean? So a chopping block to me isn't so much a big benefit. Actually, I don't think it's a benefit at all. Like, it's more solid, but the momentum that, and I've said this many times, but, and I truly believe this is true, that the momentum that you're losing from splitting way up here to where you're having to stop way up here rather than finishing through, which I believe is the most important part, that last part, yeah, that momentum creates more force than the force you lose in the ground, in my opinion. For sure, I believe. I mean, I'm splitting on sawdust here, and that's a big, pretty good size round of white oak. What, it take 3-4 hits? So that's just my belief on it, because of my experience with it. All right, I got a full load back there, a big load. I did quite a few down the middles with that Adler. I'll tell you one thing about that Adler, the more I've used it, I want to give Adler credit where credit's due. I mean, I knew it would be a great axe just from the head design. It's very similar to the Fiskars. But I will say this, after using it more, I've come to this conclusion. It's actually better than the Fiskars for splitting like big rounds down the middle for sure. And just for splitting, it splits better than the Fiskars. The Fiskars, for the amount of energy exerted, you know, to produce the amount of wood that it does, is the best to me. The Adler definitely takes more energy. Without a doubt, it's heavier. It's about 2 pounds heavier in the head. But the Adler is the better splitter. I will say that, especially on down the middle. I did some huge rounds of white up back there. One of them, maybe even 2 of them, may have been the biggest rounds I've ever done down the middle. And it did them relatively easy. It surprised me, the Adler did. So without a doubt, I believe, in my experience, without a doubt, the Fiskars wouldn't have done it that easily. I'll say that. I will say that. The Adler, I'm giving it a 10 now. Like, I mean, I already was like in the high 9s, but I'll give it a 10. For what it's designed to do, it's a 10. You're not going to find a traditional maul that will outperform that splitting axe, I don't believe. To me, the age of the maul is nearly done. You know, it's an inferior design to a good splitting axe. A splitting axe has that sharper point, but it also has the wider cheeks, you know, and the better design for splitting, so, and lighter weight as well. So yeah, to me, the splitting axes are the best, but the 2 best I've ever used now at this point are the Adler and the Fiskars. They are the best. I know Matt on there was telling me that the only thing he ever used better than the Fiskars was the Adler. I agree with him now at this point. Still, the Fiskars for my style is better, for sure, for splitting for production. But if you want one that just splits the best, the Adler is the better splitter, in my opinion. I'll say that now, and that's not easy to say because I love the Fiskars. I'm not biased by any means, but Adler was good enough to send me that axe. I really appreciate that Adler. It is a fantastic design, and I give it a 10 out of 10 for sure now. Alright, so it looks like here it comes, the storm. It's starting to snow quite a bit here already, and I've been seeing plow trucks out. I'm going to turn this around and kind of show you what it looks like right now. And in the distance, you know, I can tell there's snow all around because it looks very foggy, the sky. But here it comes. It'll probably get worse later. I don't mind to get out in this snow and drive. If it starts icing, you know, frozen rain and ice, then yeah, that's a different story. this is just in what time I got from the Stave mill to my county, the roads have gotten extremely bad, like really bad. So I don't think I'm going to be able to deliver anything today, which I can try, you know, because one of them is right here in Mount Sterling, so I could possibly do them, but these roads are horrible. So I mean, I'm sure they're going to come through here and plow them, but right now I'm going 30 miles an hour. Everybody out here is going really bad. That Chevy in front of me, when he took off at the light, he was spinning out. So I've got a lot of weight in my bed, so that helps with traction for sure, where this is a rear wheel drive vehicle. But even right now I feel it sliding a little bit. So anyways, it's very dangerous out right now, very dangerous. Glad I didn't bring Carter out in this. I can get out in this, and it's dangerous for me as well, but I wouldn't want to bring Carter out in it for sure. Definitely not. So it's getting worse, but these roads right here that I turned onto actually look better, like they've maybe been plowed or salted better than back there. So I'm glad of that at least. But hopefully on the way home it'll be like that as well, because I've still got about 15-minute ride or so to get home. So we'll see what it looks like. But yeah, it's I don't know that I'll be able to get back out in this today. Yeah, so it don't look too good on the road home either. This road, you know, I take this all the way to my road, the road that I live on, and then from that to my driveway. So it doesn't look real good here either. So I'm just gonna take my time. That's what would be really bad for somebody, to actually get out and get stranded in this to where you couldn't go. I've got four-wheel drive if I had to use it. I'm not having to, you know, there's a car in front of me there. But I've got it if I had to use it. And I would say if it's going to do this all day, it's going to get pretty bad, because it's supposed to do this all day. And I think we're even supposed to get ice mixed with it. So not good at all.